Welcome to episode number 14 of the Body to Lead podcast. Today's question, what's the best food to eat first thing? I'm Kyle Hubbard, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and international fitness presenter.
And I'm Georgie Hubbard, personal trainer and mindset coach. And we're here to answer all of your biggest fitness and nutrition questions in under 10 minutes.
We care about your health and well-being and are prepared to cut through the noise to help you find the answers. Having worked with thousands of clients, we've seen and heard it all.
So if you're ready to take back control and know what it takes to get fit and healthy, then this is the podcast for you. Episode number 15 is here.
15, wow.
Number 15. And today we've been asked about some ideas for breakfast and things to eat first thing in the morning. So I'll kick off and tell you what I eat first thing.
Can I just jump in? Breakfast is without a doubt my favourite meal of the day.
Yeah, we do love breakfast in the Hubbard household. So I guess standard, a good breakfast for me, it hits all of the macros. So you want some protein in there, you want some good carbohydrate, and you want some good healthy fats. So a typical breakfast to me is I have a scoop of protein powder. And I'll normally have some oats or some muesli with that. So I'll just basically mix in the protein powder with the oats, make it into protes. It tastes amazing.
Love it.
And then I'll sprinkle on some berries like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. I'll have a banana, and I'll also have like either a teaspoon of peanut butter or some sunflower seeds or some form, sometimes a tablespoon, but just some form of fat in there just to slow down the release of the carbohydrates. But for me, breakfast is a really important meal because I have also just usually trained. So I've done some exercise. So I really want to refuel. And also the mornings for me is when I get most of my, really focused work done. So I want to make sure that meal is going to help me fuel and give me energy. So when I sit down at my desk, I feel satisfied with my meal, but not also too heavy as well. Sometimes when we eat too much, we kind of get that slump. So yeah, for me, just having some oats or some muesli with some protein and some good fats, like I said, some nuts or some peanut butter is the perfect start to my day.
I have very similar to Georgie as well. Like I'll maybe cook my oats, or I definitely soak my oats the night before. So you have to be a bit prepared for that. But then another thing as well is that breakfast for us is, like we said, it's probably one of the biggest meals that we'll have in our day because we have it around our training. But you've kind of got to do what works for you, and I think it's experimenting with your breakfast and how, as Georgie said, she wants to be performing in her morning, and breakfast allows her to do that because once you've trained, you're kind of a bit depleted. Your energy is lower. And if you're then going into work and you're not feeling, yes, you're feeling good, but then you're starting to feel hungry and it's taking the focus away from what the tasks that you're actually supposed to do, then, it's absolutely having a good nutritious breakfast where you are, like Georgie said, hitting the macronutrients. But if you're somebody who rushes around a little bit more in the mornings, maybe you hit the snooze alarm button a couple of times, and then a third time, a fourth time, and then you're literally jumping in the shower, chucking your clothes on.
You need to do my Life Reimagined course.
Absolutely, you need to do Georgie's Life Reimagined course because no, we definitely don't like snoozing the alarm in this household. No. What do you like to say about snoozing the alarm?
You snooze the alarm, you're snoozing life.
So true. It's too true. But if you are rushing around in the mornings, then I believe we should, every time we sit down to eat, we should truly be present with our food, and we're allowing our body, we're in two different states. We're either in a fight or flight state or in rest, or we're in kind of active or rest. And when we're eating, we want to be in that rest and recharge and rest and digest is essentially what you hear being said. And that is so true. What often I see happens is I might walk around the city and I'll see people eating, sushi rolls, sandwiches, just pastries, whatever it might be, chocolate bars, and they're not actually enjoying it, because they're rushing from one thing to another. And it's like, one, I question, do you really need it if you're doing that? But just try to give yourself just that little bit of time to enjoy your food. Now, if you are in a rush a really good breakfast idea to have is a smoothie, something like that. Blend it the night before, pop it in the fridge, and then grab it out in the morning so that you are just ready, you're on the go. And again, that smoothie has all of the, the macro and micronutrients as well for your day. So it's almost what Georgie has for breakfast, what I have for breakfast in a smoothie. So, you could add your ice, your almond milk if you wanted a milk. It could even be water, but your berries, your oats, you could even chuck in some greens, obviously like spinach, even kale. You're not really going to taste it. You could buy the greens powder as well, just to get, again, those extra nutrients in. Mix it with a banana, frozen berries, and you can have a really nice kind of morning breakfast shake. Another thing you can do, which we spoke about on another podcast episode, is fast.
Yeah.
Another great way, there's a lot of research around fasting, and sometimes, our brains can be very much more alert when we're in that fasted state. There's that science around, we might be more alert because from our caveman days, we're on the hunt for food. And, so our brains are going, right, switch on here. So we actually can sometimes get our best work done when we are in that fasted state. And there's occasionally sometimes that I'll wake up in the morning and I'll go into some really, really deep work early on in the morning when I've just woken up. I don't eat anything. I might grab myself a coffee, just a long black, and I'm really in my work super, super early. So then I have then I'll switch off a little bit earlier as well. So that's just what works for me. And that's, you got to find what might work for you.
Yeah.
So other breakfast ideas, I guess you can go,
you could have eggs. Eggs is a good option if you've got a bit more time on the weekends. Avocado is really good. Really good brain food. Yeah.
Walnuts.
Yeah. On some nice bread, I think, make sure you don't get the white processed bread. Try and get it as whole grain as possible. But yeah, look, I do think breakfast is an important meal. I mean, but obviously, like Kyle said, what works for you? I've got a beautiful best friend who isn't hungry at breakfast time. But then she'll have a bigger meal at the end of the day. So again, it sort of finds out what works for you. I know I love my breakfast, but that is also because I train in the mornings, so I really want to refuel. But if you wake up and you go straight to work, then yes, maybe a smoothie or a banana and a coffee, maybe that is enough for you, and that's okay as well. But I think that don't put too much pressure on yourself to have I've got to eat breakfast, and what do I have for breakfast? A smoothie is a great option. Avocado on toast, eggs, overnight. Yeah,
love it or you hate it.
Vegemite, Marmite.
Get the B vitamins in.
Even beans on toast is a great option. Sometimes we'll have that for lunch. It's just like a really quick, easy, if we're lots going on in the day, we'll just quickly throw some, tins on some nice wholemeal bread or a baked potato, and that's a really good option there as well.
And I think what you've heard us talk about there is that we're trying to still aim to eat whole foods.
Correct.
As close as possible. So we're not eating anything processed, like having cereal or like a nut, a muesli bar or something like that, where it's just highly processed, and we're probably eating a lot of calories in a not a large portion, and we're going to end up being hungry, and maybe it's full of sugar as well. So yes, we're going to get that spike and that kind of alertness spike because of the sugar, but really it hasn't really done much for our bodies. And as we discussed in the last episode, if you're eating kind of more processed stuff, your body's like, hang on a second, where are my micronutrients? Where are my minerals that I need, and the vitamins? It will start to crave it. So we'll get hungry then that mid-morning, and we don't really want to have that. At no point throughout the day do we want to have a big slump.
No.
If we're finding that we're having a big slump, then we've got to look at something. We've got to adjust something. Is it what we're eating, how much we're eating, when we're exercising? Are we having it? There's lots of different nuances that we'd have to kind of work around. But I think that is the end of the episode.
It is.
And we shall see you on episode number 16.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you have any burning questions that you want answered, be sure to reach out to us on social media. I'm Kyle Edward Hubbard on Facebook and Instagram.
And I'm Georgie L. Hubbard on Facebook and Instagram. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we would love it if you left us a review. And we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Have an amazing day.